Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, your host for today, and I am so deeply grateful to have you here with me. If you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you into our community. Here, we believe that true fluency isn't just about memorizing lists of vocabulary or studying grammar rules in isolation. It is about integrating English into the very fabric of your life, understanding the emotion behind the words, and training your voice to move with the same natural rhythm as your thoughts. We upload in-depth, high-value English learning content to help you bridge the gap between knowing English and living in English. In today's episode, we are diving into something truly special, something that I believe will be a turning point in your journey to fluency. We are embarking on a full Daily Life Advanced English Conversation Masterclass. This is not just a listening exercise. This is an active, immersive training session where you and I will go through the natural, essential, and advanced phrases that native speakers use from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to sleep. We are going to use a technique called shadowing. If you have been with me for a while, you know that shadowing is one of the most powerful tools for developing automatic fluency. It involves listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say almost simultaneously, mimicking not just the words but the emotion, the pause, the intonation, and the flow. Today, we will train your brain to think in English by walking through a simulated day. Whether you are describing your morning routine, making decisions, expressing your internal thoughts, handling small problems at work, or speaking spontaneously to a friend, this lesson is designed to help you speak naturally, clearly, and smoothly. By the end of this video, you won't just have a list of new phrases. You will feel more confident, more fluent, and more ready to use advanced English throughout your entire day. Before we begin this journey, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have pressed the bell icon. This ensures you never miss one of our deep dive English learning episodes. Now, I want you to take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready for real English shadowing practice. Let's get started. The moment you step into this lesson, I want you to feel like you are walking into a calm, supportive space. Imagine that English is no longer a subject you study, but a tool you use to express your true self. Today, we are beginning a powerful journey, one full of advanced daily life conversations and real phrases. As we start, I want you to imagine that you and I are speaking together as if we are having a real conversation in your everyday life. We are not in a classroom. We are not looking at a textbook. It is just you and me, speaking naturally, slowly, and confidently, developing the flow of real English that native speakers use every single day. Let's begin gently with something familiar. We are going to start at the very beginning of the day. Imagine you wake up in the morning. The room is quiet, the light is soft, and I am right there with you, helping you start your day with natural English thoughts and natural English speech. Before you even speak to anyone else, you speak to yourself. This internal monologue is crucial for fluency. Take a breath with me and repeat softly in your mind as we move through each idea. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I try to do is center myself. Let's look at that phrase, center myself. In advanced English, to center yourself means to find a point of emotional balance and calm before the chaos of the day begins. It is about emotional stability. So, I take a slow breath and say, all right, today is a new day. Let me move through it with calmness and clarity. I want you to notice the word clarity here. We often use this to mean we want our mind to be sharp and focused, not confused or foggy. This simple habit helps my mind prepare for a day of English thinking. Try repeating that with me now, feeling the meaning of the words. Today is a new day. Let me move through it with calmness and clarity. Shadow it with your voice or whisper it gently to yourself. That small moment of repetition is how fluency grows slowly, naturally, and with practice. As you physically get out of bed, your body might feel heavy. You might think in English, I need a moment to wake up. Let me get my thoughts together. Let's analyze this phrase, get my thoughts together. This is a very common idiom that means to organize your mind. You aren't just waking up physically, you are organizing your mental state. Repeat that with me now. I need a moment to wake up. Let me get my thoughts together. This advanced phrase is so useful because it expresses emotional clarity. You are not just saying, I am tired, which is a very basic beginner-level sentence. You are expressing your internal state just like native speakers do. You are showing awareness, reflection, and control. And this is exactly what we want to develop. English that reflects your real personality and maturity. Now imagine walking into your kitchen or your morning space. Maybe you are making tea, coffee, or just drinking a glass of water. It is quiet. In English, you might say, let me ease into the day. This phrasal verb, ease into, is incredibly sophisticated. To ease into something means to enter it slowly, carefully, and gently, rather than rushing or jumping in aggressively. It suggests a desire for a smooth transition. Alternatively, you might say, I'm trying to start my morning slowly today. Both of these phrases are advanced, natural, and deeply human. Repeat with me now, focusing on the linking sounds between the words. Let me ease into the day. Again, let me ease into the day. And now the second variation. I'm trying to start my morning slowly today. Notice the softness, the calmness, the natural tone. That is what we aim for in this masterclass. We want to avoid the robotic, staccato rhythm that many learners have and replace it with a fluid, melodic rhythm. Let's shadow this next small conversation together. Imagine you are speaking to a partner or a family member, or perhaps just thinking aloud. Speak along with me, slowly, calmly. I'm feeling a little tired, but I'll get there. This phrase, I'll get there, is an optimistic way of saying you will eventually feel awake and ready, even if you don't feel it right now. Yes, mornings can be slow, but I'm doing my best. I think I need a few minutes to warm up my mind. When we say warm up my mind, we are using a metaphor. Just like an athlete warms up their muscles before a race, we warm up our brains before work or study. These are not textbook lines. These are real, emotional, daily English phrases used by native speakers when they express how their morning feels. When you shadow them, you are not only practicing pronunciation, you are practicing emotional rhythm, the flow of real speech, the gentle pauses, and the natural pacing. Now, imagine checking your phone, replying to messages, or planning your day. This is often where stress begins to enter our minds. You might look at your to-do list and say, I'm trying to get organized. Or you might use a phrasal verb and say, let me sort things out before I start. To sort things out means to resolve confusion, to organize a mess, or to make a plan. It is one of the most common phrasal verbs in the English language. Repeat with me now. I'm trying to get organized. Again, let me sort things out before I start. These phrases show advanced level control because you are describing your mental and emotional process, not just your physical actions. That is what makes English sound mature and fluent. Let's build a longer, natural practice together. I will speak first, and I want you to shadow immediately after me. Right now, I'm trying to set the tone for my day. I don't want to rush into anything. I want to take things step by step. Let's pause on that phrase, set the tone. To set the tone means to establish the mood or the atmosphere. If you start your day angry, you set a negative tone. If you start calm, you set a positive tone. Continuing on, stay calm, stay focused, and stay consistent with my English practice. Now, I want you to shadow that entire idea with your own voice. Feel the smooth flow. Feel how English becomes more natural when you speak in complete thoughts rather than short, broken sentences. Let's move into a real-life morning routine conversation. This time, imagine someone, perhaps a colleague or a roommate, asks you how your morning is going. You can respond in advanced daily English like this. It's going well. I'm taking my time this morning. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I just want to start slowly and build up my energy. Notice the phrasal verb build up. This implies a gradual increase. Shadow that now. Let your voice glide through the words. Not fast, not nervous, just calm and natural. Now practice another variation. My morning has been a bit busy, but I'm handling things one by one. I'm trying to stay patient and stay present. To stay present is a concept borrowed from mindfulness, meaning you are focused on the current moment, not worrying about the future. Shadow it again. I'm handling things one by one. I'm trying to stay patient and stay present. This kind of emotional clarity automatically makes your English sound thoughtful and fluent. Let's add another natural morning reflection. Sometimes we wake up feeling scattered. You can say, I woke up feeling a bit distracted today, but I'm getting back on track. To get back on track is a fantastic idiom. Imagine a train on a railway track. If it falls off, it cannot move. When you get back on track, you are returning to your correct path or schedule. I just need a few minutes to realign myself. To realign means to adjust your focus back to what matters. Shadow that with me. I'm getting back on track. I just need a few minutes to realign myself. These phrases are beautiful because you can use them anytime in daily life, at work, at home, with friends, or in conversations about how your day is going. Now, say this with me slowly. I'm trying to stay consistent with my English, even when I'm busy. Let's repeat it again. I'm trying to stay consistent with my English, even when I'm busy. This small phrase is powerful because it shows commitment, focus, discipline, and native-like expression. It uses the word consistent, which is a high-level vocabulary word indicating reliability and regularity. Now, imagine you are preparing to begin the main responsibilities of the day. Maybe you are going to work, maybe you are sitting down to study, or maybe you are tackling household tasks. Here is a natural, advanced phrase to start your day with intention. I want to make steady progress today. Nothing dramatic, just steady, meaningful progress. Why do we say steady? Steady implies reliability. It implies that you are moving forward without stopping, even if you are not moving fast. It is the opposite of rushing and then crashing. Shadow that now. Steady, meaningful progress. This kind of phrase shows calm confidence, which is a huge part of sounding fluent in daily life. Let's move into a shadowing activity designed specifically to warm up your thinking processes. Shadow each line after me in your own voice. I'm ready to face the day. To face the day means to confront the challenges ahead with courage. I'm doing my best to stay focused. I want to move through the day with confidence. I'm taking things at my own pace. Notice at my own pace. This is critical. It means you are not letting others rush you. I'm learning to trust my process. These lines are simple but structurally strong. They help build your fluency while expressing real human emotion. Native speakers use these kinds of sentences all the time, so practice them regularly to make your speaking flow naturally. Now, imagine you are preparing to leave your home or preparing to begin your tasks at your desk. You might say something like, I think I'm ready to start. I have a plan, and I'm going to take it step by step. Shadow it now. Feel how steady and calm the rhythm is. Let's add one more advanced daily English phrase. I'm not rushing today. I'm allowing myself to move naturally. Shadow it gently. This is the kind of phrase that shows emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and fluency all at once. As we move deeper into this masterclass, you will notice that every phrase, every sentence, and every shadowing moment is designed to help you speak English confidently and automatically in your daily life. This is only the beginning. Together, we will build your fluency from morning to night with real-life situations and real advanced English. As you step into the next part of your day, imagine you are getting ready to interact with the world. Maybe you are commuting to an office. Maybe you are walking to a university. Or maybe you are logging into a computer. This is where advanced daily life English becomes extremely useful because real fluency is not about using complicated, obscure vocabulary that nobody understands. It is about expressing your thoughts clearly, naturally, and confidently in everyday situations. So let's practice the kinds of phrases you can use when you are leaving home and stepping into your day. Imagine you are standing at your door, keys in hand. You say softly to yourself, all right, I think I'm good to go. Shadow that now. I think I'm good to go. This phrase is simple but extremely natural. Good to go is a very common colloquial phrase meaning ready. Native speakers say it all the time when they are about to start something or leave a location. Now, let's add a little more detail. I have everything I need. I'm ready to take on the day. Notice the phrasal verb take on. To take on something means to accept a challenge or responsibility. You aren't just starting the day, you are challenging it. Shadow it again. I'm ready to take on the day. These small shadowing moments slowly help your brain produce English effortlessly. Picture yourself walking outside. The air hits your face. You notice the weather. You adjust your mindset, and you prepare to enter your day with confidence. You might think, the weather feels nice today. I think it's going to help me feel more productive. Or perhaps, it's a bit cloudy, but I'll manage. Shadow these sentences slowly. The weather feels nice today. I think it's going to help me feel more productive. And the second one? It's a bit cloudy, but I'll manage. I'll manage is a wonderful British and American phrase that means I will be okay or I will cope with the situation. It shows resilience. Let them shape the rhythm of your English. Now, imagine you are commuting. Maybe you are walking. Maybe you are sitting on a bus watching the city pass by. Maybe you are driving, or maybe you are waiting for a train. This is a perfect time to practice shadowing because your mind is awake and moving. Here is a natural, advanced English reflection you can repeat during this time. I'm trying to stay focused today. I have a few things on my mind, but I want to handle everything calmly. When you have things on your mind, it means you are preoccupied or worried about something. Shadow it now. I want to handle everything calmly. This shows emotional control and natural expression. Here is another one. I'm not trying to rush through the day. I just want to maintain a steady rhythm. Shadow it again. I just want to maintain a steady rhythm. Now, let's create a full daily life scenario during your commute. Imagine you run into a friend or colleague, or perhaps someone calls you on the phone and asks how your day is going so far. You can respond like this. It's been all right. I'm just trying to stay organized and keep my thoughts in one place. Shadow it slowly. I'm trying to stay organized. I'm keeping my thoughts in one place. This is the kind of advanced daily English that helps you sound calm and collected. You might also say, I have a lot to do today, but I'm taking it one step at a time. Shadow it gently. One step at a time. This phrase is powerful and very natural in real conversations. It tells the listener that you are busy, but you are not panicking. Now, imagine you are transitioning into a workspace. This could be a corporate job, a study session in the library, a project area, or even your home desk if you work remotely. Before starting your actual work tasks, you need a transition moment. You might say, let me settle in. Shadow it gently. Let me settle in. To settle in means to get comfortable in a new place, to arrange your belongings, and to prepare your mind. It is extremely common among native speakers. You wouldn't say, let me sit down and start immediately. You would say, let me settle in first. Let's build a longer, natural practice of morning transition English. I will say it first, and you shadow after. I need a moment to get myself grounded. I want to approach everything with clarity. I'm not rushing. I'm not forcing anything. I just want steady progress and a calm mind while I go through my tasks. Let's look at get myself grounded. This means to feel connected to reality and stable, rather than flighty or anxious. Shadow it now. Feel how natural and emotionally balanced it sounds. This type of English builds mature fluency. Now imagine beginning your tasks. You are looking at your list, checking your responsibilities, and preparing to start. You can say, let me take a quick look at what I need to do. Shadow it now. Let me take a quick look. We often use quick look to sound efficient. This phrase is used all the time in workplaces and in daily life. Another advanced phrase is, I'm trying to get a clear picture of what needs to be done. Shadow it slowly. A clear picture of what needs to be done. To get a clear picture means to understand the whole situation or the full scope of the work. This helps you sound thoughtful and professional. Let's practice a short internal monologue that you can use when starting your work or study tasks. I want to stay disciplined today. I don't want to get distracted. I want to finish what I start and feel good about my progress. Shadow it now. I want to finish what I start. I want to feel good about my progress. Notice the positive reinforcement here. You are connecting your work to a positive feeling. Now imagine someone, a boss or a study partner, asks how you are feeling about your tasks for the day. You can respond, I'm feeling motivated. I just need to get started and build some momentum. Shadow it now. I just need to get started. I need to build some momentum. Momentum is a physics term we use in daily life to describe the force that keeps you moving forward once you have started. It sounds very confident and natural. Another response could be, I am a bit overwhelmed, but I'll handle everything step by step. Shadow it gently. I'll handle everything step by step. These phrases help you express emotional complexity, something advanced learners often struggle with. But with shadowing, you begin to develop that natural feel. Now, imagine you have started working and you are trying to stay productive, but it is difficult. Here is a phrase you can use. I'm trying to stay focused, but I keep getting pulled in different directions. Shadow it slowly. I keep getting pulled in different directions. This is a vivid metaphor. It means many different people or tasks are demanding your attention at the same time. It reflects real, honest human experience. For another practice moment, imagine you need help or clarification from someone. You can say, "Could you give me a moment? I'm trying to sort out a few things." Shadow it now. I'm trying to sort out a few things. Now we will practice a more advanced daily life reflection. This is the kind of English that makes you sound emotionally mature and fluent. I'm learning to be patient with myself. I'm learning to balance my responsibilities, and I'm learning to move through my day with a steady mindset. Shadow it slowly with soft pauses. Notice the emotional depth, the natural tone, the calmness. Let's practice a small imaginary conversation to develop your spontaneous speaking ability. Imagine the dialogue in your head. "Hey, how's your morning going?" "It's been all right. I'm trying to get things under control." "Anything stressful?" "Not really. I just want to stay organized and keep a good pace." Shadow the whole exchange. Feel the natural rhythm. To get things under control implies you are managing a chaotic situation effectively. Now, let's expand your advanced phrases with emotional detail. I want to stay productive today, but I also don't want to exhaust myself. Shadow it. I want to stay productive, but I don't want to exhaust myself. To exhaust yourself means to tire yourself out completely. Another one. I'm paying attention to my energy today. I want to work smart, not just work hard. Shadow that now. Work smart, not just work hard. These emotional awareness phrases are very common among native speakers. They show balance, intelligence, and maturity in your communication. As the morning continues, imagine you take a short break. Maybe you get a drink of water, stretch your body, or simply pause for a moment. You might say, "I needed that break. I feel a bit more refreshed now." Shadow it slowly. I feel a bit more refreshed now. Let's create a longer reflection for shadowing. I'm trying to listen to myself today. I don't want to push too hard. I want to maintain my energy and keep a healthy pace. I think small breaks help me stay focused. Shadow it in your own voice. Feel how natural and calm it sounds. Now, imagine you return to your tasks. You might say, "All right, let me get back to what I was doing." Shadow it. Let me get back to what I was doing. Or, I want to wrap up this task before moving on to the next one. Shadow it. I want to wrap up this task. To wrap up is a classic phrasal verb meaning to finish or complete something, like wrapping a gift. It signals closure. These phrases help you sound mature and responsible in English. Let's add another advanced daily life reflection before we move to the next section of our day. I'm learning to trust myself more. I'm learning to rely on my own rhythm. And I'm learning to stay confident even when things feel uncertain. Shadow it now. I'm learning to rely on my own rhythm. This is how you grow your advanced English through emotional expression, through shadowing, and through natural daily communication. As your morning moves forward, imagine you are beginning to settle into the flow of your day. Your mind is warming up, your thoughts are becoming clearer, and your English is becoming more natural with each shadowing moment. This phase of the day, the late morning, is often the busiest. It is where you face the real work, the real studies, and the real interactions. This is the perfect time to practice advanced phrases that help you express your internal mindset, your emotional state, and the way you handle daily challenges. These are the kinds of phrases native speakers use all the time, not because they are trying to sound advanced, but because this is how they naturally negotiate their time and energy. With consistent shadowing, this can become your natural English too. Imagine you are working on a specific task. You are deep in concentration, and you want to maintain that state. You might say to yourself, I'm trying to stay on track. Shadow it now. I'm trying to stay on track. This idiom, on track, comes from the idea of a train staying on its rails. If you go off track, you are distracted or lost. If you stay on track, you are progressing according to plan. This phrase is simple but powerful because it shows control, intention, and discipline. Now add a little more detail to that thought. I don't want to get distracted. I want to finish what I started. Shadow it again. I want to finish what I started. This shows completion and commitment. Now, let's shift the scenario. Imagine the reality of modern life, multitasking. You are switching between emails, a project, and perhaps a conversation. You are holding multiple responsibilities at once. You can say something like, I'm balancing a few things right now. Shadow it slowly. I'm balancing a few things right now. Or you can use a more visual metaphor. I'm juggling a lot today. Native speakers often use juggling to describe handling many tasks simultaneously without dropping any of them. Another advanced variation is, I'm trying to manage everything without feeling overwhelmed. Shadow it again, without feeling overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is a key emotional vocabulary word. It describes the feeling when the pressure is too high, like a wave crashing over you. By saying you are not overwhelmed, you are affirming your control. These phrases help you express emotional clarity. They show you understand yourself, your responsibilities, and your limits. This is a sign of high-level fluency, because fluent speakers don't just describe actions like, I am working. They describe feelings, intentions, and mental states. Now, imagine someone, a boss, a teacher, or a partner, walks up to you and asks how your work or study is going. You want to sound professional and optimistic. You can respond, it's going well. I'm making steady progress. Shadow it. I'm making steady progress. Steady implies consistency. Or you can say, I'm still working through a few things, but I'm getting there. Shadow it slowly. I'm getting there. I'm getting there is a very common colloquial phrase, meaning you are approaching the finish line, even if you haven't crossed it yet. Or if you want to be honest about a lack of focus, you might say, I've been a little distracted, but I'm trying to refocus. Shadow it now. I'm trying to refocus. Each of these lines reflects real-life communication, honest, human, and natural. Let's move into a deeper shadowing exercise. I want you to repeat after me gently, feeling the weight of the words. I'm paying attention to my mindset today. I'm trying to stay calm even when things get stressful. I'm trying to move with intention, not pressure. Let's pause on that last part. Move with intention, not pressure. This means you are working because you choose to, intention, not because you are panicked or forced, pressure. Shadow this entire practice. Feel the natural rhythm, the emotional grounding, and the advanced structure of the sentences. Now, let's imagine a situation where you need a moment to think before responding to someone. In a fast-paced environment, we often feel pressured to answer immediately. But advanced speakers know how to buy time politely. You can say, "Give me a second. I'm trying to process this." Shadow it now. I'm trying to process this. To process information means to analyze it and understand it fully. Or you can say, "Let me think about that for a moment." Shadow it gently. Let me think about that. These are extremely natural phrases used in workplaces, conversations, and daily interactions. They help you sound thoughtful instead of rushed. It turns a silence into a purposeful pause. Now, imagine there is a small problem or an unexpected situation. The computer crashes, you spill coffee, or you make a mistake. Instead of panicking, you use calming language. You can say, "I'm trying to figure this out." Shadow it. I'm trying to figure this out. The phrasal verb figure out is essential. It means to solve a problem through thinking. Or you can say, "I'm working on it. Just give me a minute." Shadow it slowly. Just give me a minute. These expressions help you communicate calmness and control, even when things aren't perfect. Let's practice a more advanced reflection on problem solving. I'm learning to handle things without stressing myself out. I'm learning to stay steady even when the day feels busy. And I'm learning to let go of things that don't matter. Shadow it softly. Feel the maturity in the language, the emotional balance, the natural rhythm. Letting go of things that don't matter suggests you are prioritizing your mental health. Now, let's step out of our internal world and into the world of professional interaction. A huge part of fluency is how we handle other people, especially in meetings, discussions, or moments of disagreement. This is where advanced English shines, because you need to be polite but firm, clear but diplomatic. So imagine you are stepping into a meeting or a group discussion. Let's practice the phrases that make you sound like a leader. Imagine someone presents an idea and you want to contribute. You don't just say, "I agree." You might say, "I think that's a valid point and I'd like to build on that." Shadow it. I'd like to build on that. This phrase shows you are listening and adding value, not just repeating what was said. Or you can say, "That aligns perfectly with what we were discussing earlier." Shadow it gently. That aligns perfectly. Now, let's practice the art of diplomatic disagreement. In advanced English, we rarely say, "You are wrong." That is too direct and can be offensive. Instead, we soften the blow. Imagine you disagree with a colleague. You might say, "I see where you're coming from, but I have a slightly different perspective." Shadow that carefully. I see where you're coming from. This validates their feeling. Then, "I have a slightly different perspective." Or you could say, "I'm not entirely sure that's the best approach for this specific situation." Shadow it slowly. I'm not entirely sure. This is a polite way of saying no. Let's try a longer shadowing practice for a meeting scenario. I want you to imagine you are controlling the flow of a conversation. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. I think we need to weigh the pros and cons before making a final decision. Let's circle back to this point later if we have time. To circle back is a classic business idiom meaning to return to a topic. Shadow it again. Let's circle back. Now, imagine you need to ask for clarification. You don't want to sound confused, you want to sound thorough. You can say, "Could you elaborate on that last point?" Shadow it. Could you elaborate? To elaborate means to explain in more detail. Or you might say, "I want to make sure I'm interpreting this correctly." Shadow it slowly. Interpreting this correctly. These phrases command respect. Let's move to a scenario where you need to deliver feedback or constructive criticism. This requires a very specific tone, supportive but honest. Imagine you are speaking to a colleague about their work. You might say, "I appreciate the effort you put into this, but I think there's room for improvement in this section." Shadow it now. Room for improvement. Or, "It's a great start, but we might need to refine the details a bit more." Shadow it. Refine the details. To refine means to polish and improve. Now, imagine you are negotiating a timeline or a deadline. Someone asks you to do something impossible. You don't say, "I can't." You say, "That might be a bit tight given my current workload." Shadow it. That might be a bit tight. Tight here refers to a lack of time. Or you can say, "I want to ensure the quality is high, so I might need a little more time than that." Shadow it slowly. Ensure the quality is high. This frames the delay as a positive thing. You care about quality. Let's shadow a full professional dialogue. Imagine both sides. Are we ready to move forward with this plan? I have a few reservations that I'd like to address first. Of course. What's on your mind? I'm concerned about the timeline. I think we should aim for a more realistic deadline. Shadow that phrase. A more realistic deadline. That's a fair point. Let's adjust the schedule. Shadow the response. That's a fair point. Now, let's practice phrases for ending a meeting. You want to sound decisive and organized. You can say, "I think we've covered everything on the agenda." Shadow it. Covered everything on the agenda. Or, "Let's recap the action items before we finish." Shadow it. Recap the action items. Action items are the specific tasks assigned to people. Finally, let's add a reflection on your professional identity. Shadow this internal monologue. I am learning to speak with authority and kindness. I don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be heard. My words have value, and I choose them carefully. I am becoming more comfortable with professional silence. Professional silence refers to the confidence to pause and think without feeling awkward. Shadow that again. Comfortable with professional silence. As the afternoon slowly moves toward the later part of the day, imagine your mind settling into a slightly heavier but more thoughtful rhythm. The sun changes its angle, the world around you becomes a bit quieter, and you begin to feel that transition between the busy part of the day and the softer hours that come after it. This is the moment when advanced English becomes even more meaningful because you are not just practicing vocabulary, you are practicing emotional expression, mental clarity, and natural communication during times of lower energy. So let's continue building your fluency through shadowing softly and steadily. Imagine you are wrapping up a task, something you have been working on for a while. You look at the clock and realize the day is ending. You might say, "I think I'm almost done with this." Shadow it now. Almost done with this. Or you can use a very common phrasal verb. Let me finish the last part and then I'll move on. Shadow it slowly. Then I'll move on. Even more naturally, native speakers often say, I'm going to call it a day soon. To call it a day means to decide that you have done enough work and it is time to stop. It is a phrase of permission and closure. Now that we have navigated the professional world and the busy afternoon, we need to shift our focus to something equally important: your personal connections. True fluency isn't just about business meetings or ordering coffee. It is about connecting with people's hearts. It is about empathy, storytelling, and vulnerability. When you speak to friends or family, your tone changes. It becomes warmer, more relaxed, and more idiomatic. Let's practice the English of connection. Imagine you are meeting a friend you haven't seen in a while. You don't just say, hello. You express excitement and the passage of time. You might say, it's been ages since we last caught up. Shadow it with energy. It's been ages. Ages is a common exaggeration for a long time. Or you can say, I feel like there's so much to catch up on. Shadow it. So much to catch up on. Then you invite them to speak by saying, fill me in on everything. Shadow it. Fill me in. To fill someone in is a great phrasal verb meaning, give me all the details. Now, let's practice the art of active listening. In English, we use small phrases to show we are listening and that we care. We call these conversation signals. If a friend tells you good news, you might say, I'm over the moon for you. Shadow it. Over the moon. This is a beautiful idiom for extreme happiness, or simply, that is such a relief to hear. Shadow it gently. Such a relief. But what if they are sharing something difficult? You need phrases of empathy. You might say, I can imagine that was really tough for you. Shadow it slowly. Really tough for you. Or, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Shadow it. Go through that. To go through something means to experience a difficult process. You might also ask, how are you holding up? Shadow it. How are you holding up? This implies you know they are struggling, and you want to know how they are surviving emotionally. Let's move to storytelling. Advanced speakers know how to tell a story with flow. They use transition phrases to keep the listener interested. Imagine you are telling a story about your weekend. You might start with, you won't believe what happened. Shadow it. You won't believe what happened. Then, to move to the main point, you say, long story short. Shadow it. Long story short. This means you are skipping the boring details to get to the result. Finally, to explain the result, you say, it turns out I was at the wrong place entirely. Shadow it. It turns out. It turns out is the perfect phrase for revealing a surprise. Now, let's practice vulnerability. This is hard even for native speakers, but it is necessary for deep relationships. Imagine you are admitting that you are tired or struggling. You might say, to be honest, I've been feeling a bit off lately. Shadow it. Feeling a bit off. Off here means not quite right, slightly sick or sad. Or you can say, it's been weighing on my mind. Shadow it. Weighing on my mind. This metaphor suggests that a worry feels heavy, like a physical weight. Expressing this builds trust. Let's shadow a meaningful conversation between two close friends. Friend A, you seem a little quiet today. Is everything okay? Friend B, I've just got a lot on my plate right now. Shadow that idiom again. a lot on my plate. Friend A, do you want to talk about it? I'm all ears. Shadow, I'm all ears. This means I am listening completely. Friend B, I appreciate that. It's just been one of those weeks. Shadow, one of those weeks. We say this when a week has been uniquely difficult or unlucky. Now, let's talk about social energy. Sometimes you want to socialize, and sometimes you need to protect your energy. This is called honoring your social battery. Imagine someone invites you out, but you are tired. You can be polite but honest. I'd love to come, but my social battery is pretty drained tonight. Shadow it. Social battery is drained. Or, I think I need a quiet night in to recharge. Shadow it. A quiet night in. A night in is the opposite of a night out. Finally, let's focus on appreciation. We often forget to tell the people close to us that we value them. Let's practice these warm, affirming phrases. I really value your perspective on this. Shadow it. Value your perspective. Thank you for hearing me out. Shadow it. Hearing me out. To hear someone out means to listen to them until they are finished. I'm so glad we got to spend this time together. Shadow it. Spend this time together. And here is a deeper reflection to shadow regarding your relationships. I am learning to be present with the people I love. I listen not just to reply, but to understand. I allow myself to be vulnerable because that is where connection begins. I nurture my relationships with kindness and honesty. Shadow that final word, honesty. As the evening begins to settle more deeply around you, imagine the atmosphere becoming softer, the pace of the world slowing down, the sounds around you calming into a quieter rhythm. This is a beautiful space to continue practicing advanced English because your mind is more reflective, more open, and more connected to your emotions. So breathe slowly. Allow the evening light to wrap around your thoughts, and let's keep shadowing together. Imagine you are returning home, or finishing your work, or simply stepping into a calmer part of your space. You might say, all right, I'm done with the busier part of the day. Shadow it. Done with the busier part of the day. Or you could say, I can finally slow down now. Shadow it slowly. Finally slow down. These phrases help you balance your emotional and mental state naturally. Now, imagine you are thinking about how the day went. You might say, today had its challenges, but I handled them well. Shadow it. Handled them well. Or, I managed everything with patience and strength. Shadow it slowly. Patience and strength. These reflections help you express emotional honesty and fluency at an advanced level. Let's build a deeper evening reflection for shadowing. I'm letting the weight of the day slowly fall away. I'm allowing myself to breathe, to soften, and to rest. I'm letting my mind return to a peaceful place inside me. Shadow this practice session softly. Let the calmness enter your voice. Now imagine you are preparing something simple, maybe dinner, maybe tea, maybe organizing something small. You might say, I'm taking my time now. There's no need to rush. Shadow it. No need to rush. Or, I just want to move gently through the rest of my evening. Shadow it slowly. Gently through my evening. These expressions help you move with ease and tranquility. Imagine someone asks how your evening is going. You can answer, "It's going well. I'm just unwinding." Shadow it, "just unwinding." Or, "It's been a long day, but I'm relaxing now." Shadow it slowly, "relaxing now." These are natural, warm, conversational lines. Now, imagine you want to talk about your emotions. You might say, "I'm feeling calmer now that the day is ending." Shadow it, "feeling calmer now." Or, "My mind feels lighter. I needed this shift." Shadow it slowly, "I needed this shift." Let's practice a deeper emotional shadowing moment. I'm letting go of the stress I carried. I'm choosing to forgive myself for anything I couldn't finish. And I'm choosing to accept that I did my best today. Shadow it slowly and gently. Let the meaning settle inside you. Now imagine you are reflecting on something positive from the day. You can say, "I'm grateful for the moments that brought me joy today." Shadow it, "moments that brought me joy." Or, "I appreciate the small successes that made my day easier." Shadow it slowly, "small successes." These phrases help you express gratitude and emotional grounding. Imagine you want to express relief. You can say, "I feel relieved now that the day is slowing down." Shadow it, "I feel relieved." Or, "I needed this more than I realized." Shadow it slowly, "more than I realized." Let's build another reflective practice session. I'm giving myself permission to breathe deeply, to relax my shoulders, to soften my thoughts, and to welcome the peacefulness that the evening brings. Shadow this entire practice session slowly. Feel the softness in your voice. Now, imagine you are preparing to finish one last small responsibility. You might say, "Let me take care of this before I fully relax." Shadow it, "before I fully relax." Or, "This is the last thing I need to do today." Shadow it slowly, "last thing I need to do." These are natural ways of expressing closure for the day. Imagine someone asks if you are okay. You could respond, "I'm okay, just a little tired." Shadow it, "a little tired." Or, "I'm fine, I just need to rest my mind for a bit." Shadow it slowly, "rest my mind." Now imagine you are settling into your evening space, your room, your living area, or somewhere peaceful. You might say, "This is my time to unwind." Shadow it, "my time to unwind." Or, "I'm ready to enjoy the quiet of the evening." Shadow it slowly, "quiet of the evening." These lines help you transition into a more relaxed state. Let's deepen the emotional practice. I'm learning to let go of the day gently. I'm learning to accept what happened without judgment. And I'm learning to create space for peace inside myself. Shadow this practice session softly. Let it feel natural. Now imagine you are reflecting on your own growth. You might say, "I'm becoming more patient with myself." Shadow it, "more patient with myself." Or, "I'm noticing how much I've learned about my emotions." Shadow it slowly, "learned about my emotions." These advanced phrases help you express emotional intelligence smoothly. Imagine you are sharing something with someone close. You might say, Today taught me a few things. Shadow it. Taught me a few things. Or, I realized something important about myself today. Shadow it slowly. Something important about myself. Let's practice a longer, calming reflection. I'm letting the evening guide me towards softness. I'm embracing the quiet, and I'm allowing myself to simply be present in this moment without rushing, without pressure, without expectations. Shadow it slowly. Allow your breath to slow down with the words. Now imagine the evening is becoming quieter. You might say, "The evening feels peaceful, and I'm grateful for it." Shadow it. Grateful for it. Or, "I love this part of the day. Everything feels calmer." Shadow it slowly. Everything feels calmer. Finally, let's practice with a deep, grounding reflection. I'm ending this part of my day with gratitude, calmness, and confidence in everything I was able to do. I'm ready to carry this peaceful energy into the rest of my evening. Shadow it gently. Feel your English flowing naturally and confidently. As the night settles fully and everything around you becomes still, imagine yourself moving deeper into a space of calmness, a space where your thoughts feel soft, your breath feels gentle, and your emotions feel steady and clear. This final part of your day is not just about resting. It is about acknowledging the effort you gave, the steps you took, the challenges you handled, and the quiet strength you carried through every moment. So, take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let's continue this final shadowing practice together. Imagine you are preparing to close the day. You might say, "I think I'm ready to end the day now." Pause. Shadow it softly. Ready to end the day. Or you might say, "My mind feels quieter and I'm ready to rest." Pause. Shadow it slowly. Ready to rest. These phrases help you express peaceful closure. Now imagine you are reflecting gently on everything that happened. You can say, "I did my best today, and that's enough." Pause. Shadow it. That's enough. Or, "I showed patience, strength, and calmness, and I'm proud of that." Pause. Shadow it slowly. I'm proud of that. These reflections help you speak with emotional maturity and confidence. Let's create a soothing emotional practice. I'm letting the quiet of the night wrap around my thoughts. I'm allowing my mind to rest after a long day, and I'm choosing to appreciate the person I was today, calm, steady, and willing to grow. Shadow it gently. Let the words soften inside you. Now imagine someone asks how you are feeling as the night ends. You can say, "I feel peaceful. My mind feels clear." Shadow it. My mind feels clear. Or, "I'm tired, but in a calm, satisfied way." Shadow it slowly. A calm, satisfied way. These are natural expressions that show emotional awareness. Imagine you are giving yourself permission to fully disconnect. You might say, "I'm ready to switch off for the night." Shadow it. Switch off for the night. This is a mechanical metaphor, like turning off a light switch. Or, "I'm giving myself permission to rest completely." Shadow it slowly. Rest completely. These phrases help you speak about self-care in natural, daily English. Let's build a deeper closing reflection. I'm releasing everything that doesn't serve me, letting go of the pressure, letting go of the noise, letting go of the tension, and inviting peace to fill the space where stress once lived. Shadow it slowly. Let your voice flow gently. Now imagine you're preparing to rest emotionally and mentally. You might say, I'm ready to allow my mind to slow down. Shadow it. Slow down. Or, I'm letting the night guide me toward rest. Shadow it slowly. Guide me toward rest. These lines help your English sound soft and reflective. Imagine you are looking back at the progress you've made, not just today, but in your overall journey. You can say, I'm proud of how far I've come. Shadow it. Proud of how far. Or, I'm learning a little more every day, and it feels good. Shadow it slowly. Feels good. These advanced reflections build natural confidence in your spoken English. Now imagine expressing appreciation for the day. You might say, I'm thankful for the lessons today brought. Shadow it. Thankful for the lessons. Or, I'm grateful for the moments of clarity and strength. Shadow it slowly. Moments of clarity and strength. Let's create a warm, emotional closing practice. I'm stepping into the night with a peaceful heart. I'm trusting that tomorrow will bring new strength, new calmness, and new opportunities. And I'm allowing myself to rest with gratitude for everything I carried today. Shadow it softly. Let the rhythm comfort you. Now, imagine someone gently asks if you are ready to end the day. You can say, yes, I'm ready. My mind is quiet. My heart is calm. Shadow it. My heart is calm. Or, I'm ending my day with peace and gratitude. Shadow it slowly. Peace and gratitude. These are natural final reflections for the day. Finally, imagine closing your eyes, breathing deeply, and letting the night welcome you. You might say, I'm letting go, I'm resting, and I'm grateful for this moment of calm. Shadow it. Grateful for this moment of calm. Or, I'm ending the day with softness in my breath and peace in my mind. Shadow it slowly. Peace in my mind. Let's end this lesson with a soft, grounding closing reflection. I'm ready to rest, ready to repair, ready to renew myself for tomorrow. I am calm, I am grateful, and I am at peace. Shadow it gently, letting your voice fall into a natural, soothing rhythm. And now, before we close this video, I want to take a moment, a heartfelt moment, to thank you truly for staying connected with me through this long, calming, powerful English shadowing practice. Your dedication, your patience, your consistency, and your willingness to grow show how committed you are to improving your English and improving yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for practicing with me, and thank you for allowing me to guide you on your English journey. I am proud of you, and I appreciate you more than you know. This is Elena from English in Moments, wishing you a peaceful night and a wonderful tomorrow.